let me ask you this with Leody Taveras. I want to go back to the first overreaction of the day. If after we get to May 4th, okay, May 4th, if I have these dates right, they might have changed the dates on me and I just didn't read it. I believe on May 4th we start AAA baseball.
Okay.
Like Round Rock starts their season, and AAA starts their season. I'm not saying he's going to go 0 for 5 with 4 Ks every game. That's not going to happen. But let's say after a month of Major League Baseball, he's batting 150 with no home runs.
Yeah.
That's possible. I'm not saying likely, but that's possible. Well, we're here on a youth movement. We're saying just let them play. Would you say to Leody, no, I don't want to let him play if he can't compete at this level?
I think it would have to be an instance where he would have to have already asserted himself as one of the, if not the best defensive center fielder in baseball. If that is what you're telling me, I need to have seen a month of Gold Glove defense to make me be like, yeah, okay, it's worth it. Because otherwise, like, I'm gonna find somebody else because that was already the knock against him, right?
Like, I guess you could bring Delino back up, right? Is Delino still in the organization? Did he opt out? I don't know.
That is a good question. Unfortunately, I don't know the answer.
I probably should know that. But
was the knock that he couldn't hit or that he wasn't ready to hit at a pro level?
No, that he can't hit is what I heard.
He never hit at a level. He never put up good numbers at a level. When he was getting pumped up 3 years ago, I was like, I don't get batting 240 in A-ball is going to be our next super stud player. And then, the next year he would move up a level and bat like 235. And I'm just like, I don't get this. Like, when people get pumped up the way Leody was 2-3 years ago, you go look at their numbers, you're like, oh, I get it. He's batting 375. Like the way Vlad Jr., Juan Soto, Ronald Acuna Jr., like the Rangers were pumping up Leody Taveras the way that those organizations were pumping up those guys. But if you go look at stats, you're like, oh, gosh, I get it. Like, Juan Soto's batting 400 right now in the minor leagues, And I'm like, there's a big difference between batting 400 and batting 240. And John Daniels is not opposed to pushing people past the level they've succeeded at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of his deal. When Ron Washington and him had a discussion about Michael Young. Michael Young's time was up. It was time for Profar, and it was time for, who's the guy that never made it that they liked so much? The other guy, back in 2012, 13, is a white dude who was a third baseman who never made it in the major leagues. Okay. Played like a day or two. And John
Daniels
wanted to
say Mike Ott, but I don't. Yeah,
Mike
Olt.
I think it was. And Ron's like, no, they're not ready. They can't. We're here to win a championship, and they can't help me win. And John's like, no, I don't care. Like, I think they can. I don't care what they're doing in the minor leagues. I think that they can do it at a major league level. And it's like, let them prove themselves at the minor leagues before we throw them in the major leagues, especially in this situation. And John Daniels felt different about that. And so
it's like it's an earned thing more than it is just a, hey, it's your turn.
Yeah. And I think this is a tough discussion, right? Because we were having this about Josh Young a month ago, and you guys were like, I'm not saying you were forcing Josh Young before he got hurt, before he had the stress fracture. It was like, who cares? We don't have a third baseman, just play him. And here it is, Leody. I'm just wondering if he can't bat over 150. Do you just keep playing him in center field, or do you say, no, he's not ready to compete at this level?
I think, and Mike, I think that the difference between you and me and John Daniels is going to show here. Because I would probably say, look, dude, we've given you a lot of time. It's time to go back to the minors. All right, as much as I'm excited about this kid.
We've given you 100 at-bats. In 100 at-bats, you got 15 hits.
I'm excited about this kid. I really want him to do well, but I've been very consistent. He is a great defensive center fielder, but I still have to see if the bat can come along. If that's the case, and he can't, and he's not hitting well, then I would send him down. John Daniels, I think, is looking at this season and saying, we're going to keep him up all year. He needs the pro at-bats. That's what's most important, is him getting pro at-bats, not minor league at-bats. That's what I think is going to happen.